Every day people wake up feeling lazy and sluggish. They need something to get them going so they can get ready for the day ahead of them. So what do most people do? They drink a cup of coffee or they make some coffee. Everyone I know pretty much drinks coffee. On statisticsbrain.com, it states that 54% of people over the age of 18 drink coffee in America. And this is people just over the age of 18. And yes, people under the age of 18 do drink coffee because they go to Starbucks and get little frappuccinos and those really good coffee drinks. Um, People drink coffee every day without really knowing what they're drinking except the reason that they're drinking it, which is to wake you up. So today I'm going to give you some information on coffee and what wakes you up inside of that drink, which is caffeine. Um, in an online article with information from a book called The World of Caffeine, it states how caffeine was discovered. It was discovered by a man named Johann Wolfgang van Goethe and his friend Runge. Johann Wolfgang van Goethe was a poet at the time, and he also studied botany on the side. He found the caffeine beans on a plant. That's where caffeine comes from. It's in over 60 plants, and gave them to his friend Runge, who is a chemist, to test and further analyze. Um, so he consumed these rare Arabian mocha beans, and he noticed the stimulating effects of them, and then he went on to further analyze it, and he came out with the world's first pure caffeine sample. And although this is how caffeine was introduced to the world, on sheerbalance.com, it states that caffeine use may date back to the Stone Age. They also state that 450 billion cups of coffee are consumed daily every day in America. Like I said, while 54% of Americans over the age of 18 consume coffee, 90% of Americans consume caffeine in some way because caffeine comes in different forms, not only in a drink, but it comes in a pill form as well. Shown on statisticsbrain.com, America spends over $4 billion importing coffee to the States yearly. The price of coffee, in my opinion, could be way overpriced, and it would not matter because people would buy it either way because they need it. People who purchase their coffee from a Starbucks or a corner store, the average price of one of those just basic plain old coffee is about $1.30 to $1.50, and this is just a plain black cup of coffee. If you're getting some kind of specialty, it's like $2.50 at least. That's at least $2.50. So if you're drinking one cup a day, buying from Starbucks or a corner store, you end up spending about like $15 to $20 a week, and that's just one cup a day. Most people don't drink just one cup; they end up getting two. So double that, it's like $40 a week, which is a lot of money in my opinion. The percentage of people who do consume coffee from Starbucks in a corner store is 35% in America. Without coffee, people could not function because I know from experience, without my one cup a day, I wouldn't be able to go to work. It would kind of suck for me. I'd be really tired and just lazy all day long. I'm not some kind of crazy coffee person either, so don't think that. They become dependent, which leads to my next point. On sheerbalance.com, it's stated that caffeine is not even black. When you see caffeine, it's usually in coffee, which is black, but caffeine is actually a white crystal-like substance. It's similarly related to cocaine. What most people don't know is that caffeine is actually a drug. Um, Caffeine is a drug, and basically, if you drink coffee, you're a drug user in a sense. I mean, you are, but you aren't. It's crazy, isn't it? If you think about it, caffeine has almost the same effects too as cocaine. Shown on sheerbalance.com, when consumed, caffeine causes your brain to have higher sense of alertness and an increased level of dopamine, improving your feeling of well-being and your mood. Consumed in liquid form, caffeine reaches all tissues of the body within 5 minutes. I'm sure everyone has tried coffee at least one time, and we all know why we drink it, and that's to wake up. Coffee houses are seen as a social spot, not just a place to get coffee. The reason for this is because people go and they get coffee and they socialize and things like that because it stimulates your mood. So they go over there with their friends, or they go to study, do homework because they drink their coffee and it helps them focus and get alert on what they're doing. If you think about it, people that do go to coffee shops to do this, like socialize with friends and drink coffee and stuff, can be closely related to someone who goes to a club and uses club drugs such as like ecstasy or cocaine to socialize with people. It's exactly the same pretty much. Although the side effects of these two are very different, they are still similar in some ways. If someone were to abruptly stop drinking coffee or using caffeine, they would experience withdrawals just like any other drug. Taken from facts.org, withdrawal symptoms include most commonly, which is headaches. You get irritable, fatigue, sometimes vomiting, and just pretty much the exact same withdrawal symptoms as another stimulant drug. Like I said, over 90% of Americans use caffeine in some way. Have you ever heard of someone dying from a cup of coffee though? No, I don't think anyone has ever died from an overdose of coffee or something. So it's not like it's bad. I mean, it has its good and its bad. And yes, people do become dependent on it, but there's nothing to worry about. I'm confident now that you are better informed about caffeine and coffee because after doing all this research, I know I am myself.